Now, former President Jacob Zuma will continue to participate in the state capture inquiry. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu has been standing by and watching events unfold today at the Commission, and we cross to him now for an update. Manqoba, it's been quite a day. There was always a suspicion when we woke up this morning that the President wasn't going to continue testifying at the inquiry.
Well, of course, Peter, that is indeed the case. Of course, stemming from the scenes that we saw on Wednesday at the State Capture Commission, where the President indicated that he was not happy with the line of questioning that was being asked by the evidence leaders, in particular the evidence leader Advocate Paul Pretorius. And of course, the Commission adjourning and being adjourned by the Chair, Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, for the two parties to really meet and try to find a way in which they could work together, I can say, Peter. And of course, this morning, the President's lawyer saying that the President is not willing to be part of this commission because he says they've simply ambushed him and they've really turned this into a cross-examination. But of course, Peter, it's also been a spirited event here outside at the Peter Roos Park, where some of his supporters have gathered here since this morning, singing struggle songs, and many of them, of course, are waiting to hear from the former president, and especially on what he had to say following his testimony here. They did indicate earlier that they're quite happy with him not continuing to give his testimony at the commission, saying that, of course, they believe that the way he was treated here was not a fair one. So many of them saying that even if he does continue, they will still support him. But I think most of them really expressing the fact that they believe that, as the former president has put it, there really is a plan to try and, bury the president in so far as some of these allegations are concerned, corruption allegations, and that they believe that is being persecuted. And his appearance here at the commission is really taking that narrative forward. I think the words that the former president himself has said while addressing some of these supporters here at the Peter Roos Park, he really gave a very strong worded speech, even warning some of those people who he says are people who are targeting him, saying that, he's been saying this since his court appearances in Durban. He's been giving a warning since his court appearances in Durban that those people who are really talking about him, they must watch out, because he says he's been quiet for too long. He says he has information that he knows about these people, and the reason why he says this is because he was deployed by the ANC in intelligence, and so he says he's been quiet for far too long, and if they continue to provoke him, he will give out their names one by one. So that's the warning that is given here. Of course, he's also reiterated the fact that he believes that he's being targeted, by a group, certainly a group of people, and he says that, he believes that these people are contempt on continuing that narrative that Zuma is corrupt. And he says that, this conspiracy started back in the 1990s. The testimony that he gave at the State Capture Commission, still going on that track to say that he believes that this conspiracy is still on. And he says basically to those who are conspiring against him that they must watch out, because he says in his exact words that they'll say that I'm mad when I name them one by one. So he says this must stop now, or else he's going to tell.
All right, so I guess the question now becomes, when will he come back, and will he say anything in between? Was there any indication that he'll be speaking before that, or must we wait until his next appearance for him to drop more files, inverted commas?
Well, Peter, what the former president is saying is that he will comply with the State Capture Commission. But ironically, just a few minutes ago, Zuma again, reiterating the words and basically the fact that the State Capture Commission was set up to persecute him, to target him, saying that even the name, the way it was coined, the name State Capture, suggests that this was nearly targeting Zuma to bury Zuma. But he says, he will respect the process. He says that he's willing to come back and set the record straight, but he says that this he will do at a later stage. I think also interestingly, hearing from some of his strong allies, some of his strong supporters, one of the former ministers, the minister, former Minerals Minister Mosebenzi Zwane, saying that, of course, they will also lead by Zuma's example. They know that the State Capture Commission is about them. They are being targeted by it. But despite that, he's saying that they'll take example from Zuma, and they're also willing to come and answer here at the commission.
All right, Manqoba, we're going to leave it there for the time being, but we'll certainly be hearing a bit more from him a little bit later on.